I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.
I want to let you all know. I want you all to be very clear about this. I'll never forgive you. I'll never forgive you for making me a P. Diddy fan again. I liked P. Diddy back when he made that song, I Need a Girl, part 2, with Genuine and Loon. The family started. See, that's when I liked Diddy back then. I haven't liked him since then because I'm no better than everybody else. I was an idiot. The same reason I didn't like Donald Trump for a long period of time is because I let people around me and gay men on CNN convince me that he was just some animal, monster, evil person. They've done the same thing successfully to Diddy over the past several years. You know, I was in a situation like this one that we're going to talk about today. I was in a situation like this one time. I used to work for a corporate housing company before I started my own. And I had there was an incident. I had been working there for about 6 months. And I had a coworker. She was like this white woman. She had a husband. And apparently she had a crush on me. She liked the way I wear these, like, she thought I wore tight dress clothes. And, you know, she used to say all this stuff, but she never said anything to me directly. Besides stuff about work, we never spoke at all. She was my coworker right behind me. Never really met the woman, never really got to know her. But she used to write letters to me every single day. Love letters, in a way. Fast forward, her husband finds these letters. He doesn't realize that she's never mailed them off or never given them to me. He thinks her and I are having an affair. This man shows up to my office where I work, armed with the gun, asking for me by name to come outside. I've never met your wife, don't know your wife, never messed with your wife. But in her head, her and I have a relationship. In her head, we have this romance. And she just lives in the clouds, and we're me and her, we run away together, and you know, we're at work and we have this flirtatious fling. It's just like this. I'm saying this to say that sometimes people live in their own imaginations. And your thoughts will betray you. Your imagination will have zero connection to reality. You know, somebody posted this, and this is an excerpt from the Diddy trial, dated June 15th of 2021. Now, the woman in this text, her name is Mia, or that's what they're calling her. This is the woman who said that she was raped brutally by him for 8 years straight, from like 2009 to 2017. And this is what the caption says. Text from Diddy's victim number 2, Mia. She said Diddy raped her multiple times and SA'd her as well. So rape and sexual assault. I thought they would kind of be the same, but I guess not. But her text in 2021 shows her saying she had a crush on Puffy. This trial is confusing. How? What's so confusing about women that lie on men for money? What's so confusing about women lying to men for money? Isn't that how it's always worked throughout history? A woman would lie, she would cry, men feel sorry for her, and we give them money, we give them resources, we build them shelter, we give them access because they have children, we feel sorry for them. We create social programs so that they can have food in case their the father of their children or their husband dies in war or dies at work. And a lot of these times, the woman left the family or she betrayed the husband or there was never a husband. She doesn't know who the father of these children are. But we don't know that because our sympathy outweighs our ability to process logic and ask questions. I've been in situations where someone told me, yeah, we've been together for a year. And I'm like, lady, we met one time. We've never even slept together. What do you mean we've been together for a year? In their minds, you guys have had this tumultuous up and down relationship situation. And then I start thinking, okay, I'm not a billionaire. I'm just a guy. I'm just a regular dude, regular smegular degular. How much worse, how much more amplified would these delusions of grandeur be in the minds of women who target me? Because that's what this is. This is targeting. You know, they talk about how men prey on women. But when you look at what these women had to go through just to get around these men, they slept with the security. They slept with managers. They slept with the road guy. They slept with valet. They slept with the guy at the front desk at a hotel just so she can wait in the lobby in hopes of being seen or having access to some of these men, these entertainers, these celebrities. That's actually the reverse. You're actually preying on these men. You're targeting when these young athletes walk out of the combine, when they're being drafted, and there's rows and rows of women scantily clad waiting for them to walk into the lobby of the hotel. Those are women that are preying on these young men, these athletes, these entertainers. They're preying on you. So I'm reading this message from her dated June 15, 2021. You can tell Puffy doesn't really know her, but she knows him. She was no more than a fly on the wall. Apparently, it seems like she was more of a friend of somebody who he was dealing with. And she always wanted this friend around, so he always made it possible for her to be around. But he was never attracted to her, never really spoke to her, didn't even know she existed. You can tell that when you read the messages. So this is her texting Puffy exactly almost 4 years ago to the day, June 15th, 2021, almost exactly 4 years ago. We're in June right now. Totally unrelated to our current conversation, but now when a woman is going to text you directly that she had a crush on you, that means all other ways of her dropping hints, all of the ways of her trying to get you to respond to her or notice her have failed. No women are normally this blatant and just fucking thirsty that they're going to at least tell you in a text message and then run on continuous begging. But did you ever know that I had the biggest crush on you before I started working for you? So she was an employee that he really never paid attention to. He didn't even really know she existed. She was an employee, never looked at her like that, which you can tell. I don't think you knew that I had a crush on you. I couldn't tell if it was mutual. You couldn't tell if it was mutual. Does this sound like a woman who's texting a man who has been forcefully having sex with her via rape and sexual assault for 8 years before this text message went out? Does that sound like to you? This sounds like a woman who was in distress, who was being tortured and raped repeatedly by this man? Or does this sound like a woman that the man never even looked at her twice? She was an employee, she did her job, she got the fuck on. I couldn't tell if it was mutual. I just knew for sure that you liked to have me around. Sometimes I wonder, did we ever misuse all this dope chemistry? Baby, what chemistry? The man never really acknowledged your existence. Are you comparing yourself to the woman who he was sleeping with? And you're wondering, well, why them and not me? What do you mean, not you? I thought you've been having a sexual relationship with him, right? He's raping you all the time, right? Or wasn't he? This doesn't sound like a woman who was being assaulted by this same man only 3 or 4 years prior. You wouldn't call somebody who's raping you having dope chemistry, or would you? You know, it seems like all benefits of the doubt and all the mental manipulation and all the mental gymnastics, it's like you throw them at everything because you guys want this man to be guilty so fucking bad. Why does he have to prove his innocence? Shouldn't you be able to prove his guilt easily? Why do you need a RICO? If you have so much evidence against him, why keep playing some outdated domestic violence video over and over? Why not play different domestic violence videos? Why not replay different evidence showing a pattern? You show one. And then you put someone on the stand as the government, but this is what you know was in the discovery, and you still put her up there. You knew he wasn't in LA to hang that girl over the balcony. You knew that was all a lie, but yet you still put her up there. You have the metadata, and you also have his itinerary. You knew he was in New York. He wasn't even there. So the injuries she sustained, where you have the metadata that shows the date of the picture, you know it couldn't have been him that did it to her, but you still put her up there. That's fraud. This is fraud. This is corruption. This is an embarrassment to the American legal system. This is a perversion of the law, not a respect for it. There's no justice here. This is corruption. This is being railroaded. I'll continue. I wonder, did we ever misuse that dope chemistry? So in her head, we have a chemistry. In his head, we have nothing. There was no chemistry. I never spoke to you about that. We've never dealt with each other. I never even flirted with you. That's why she's asking, did we ever misuse it? She says, it was super fun back then. What's fun about rape? Unless there was no rape. It was super fun back then. The SJC days, the Sean John collection days. I guess she worked on his clothing lines. She said, we called you Chalk short for chocolate. How many people have funny, crazy, sexy nicknames for their abusers? Or do you have nicknames for men you have a crush on, like she said she did? See, you have a crush on somebody that you can't have. It's a crush. It's a fantasy. If you have it in real life, it's not a crush. It's no longer a fantasy. It's your reality. But this is this woman's fantasy. This is her crush. She's dreaming about this rich, black, successful entertainer. She's a woman. She's looking to upgrade her lifestyle, to change the means of her lifestyle. But there's only 3 ways women can do that. Either via marriage, and then she can sue him and get alimony and continue her lifestyle, except without the husband weighing her down that she has to answer to. Or she can get pregnant by you and sue you for child support. Maintain the lifestyle. You have his kid, so he has to deal with you. But if he won't marry you and he won't have sex with you to get you pregnant, you have no choice but to do we call it the Shannon Sharp method, where they accuse you of abuse. Now, these allegations alone can ruin your reputation. So when they have their lawyer contact your lawyer about the allegations, neither one of you guys want this to go to the police or make it to the press. So you usually cut a deal. And there's a lot of men that are paying a stipend to women they've never had sex with. They've never touched. Some of these women they've never met in real life. But the allegations alone, there's going to be people who are evil out there that are going to humor them and believe them. So just to make the thing go away, you agree to $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 a month stipend just to keep this woman quiet from going public with false allegations. That's how corrupt the system is here. Men have to change their whole lives just to not get extorted, because they're not going to investigate. They're not going to lock up the person for false allegations. They're a victim regardless. And you're never the victim as a man, especially if you're black. If you're black, you're a soft target. Everyone sees you apparently as evil. And I don't believe in racism. I've never actually seen it. And I've been living in the United States most of my life. People tell me about it. I've never seen it. I always ask people for proof when it comes to racism. When I start seeing the pattern of all these black celebrities, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to believe they're all traffickers, rapists, abusers, like all Tyler Perry? He's grabbing men by the throat and jumping in bed with them and rubbing on, just grabbing cheeks and nigga, give me your cheeks, nigga. I'm supposed to believe that Medea snatching up little buff Hispanic men. Like, why that nigga didn't sock Tyler Perry this shit? You're a man. So Tyler Perry jumps into bed with you. You're like, oh God, Tyler, now you are a man with muscles. You can work out. I seen your flex. Sock that nigga. Bro, with these women, you give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt. But when it's another man, come on. So now I'm starting to see a pattern. I'm like, why are they all black? Why is everybody saying the same thing? Get me pregnant. I love you. Then later, oh, he forced me. This is not going to have force where? She continues. She said, we called you Choc short for chocolate. Why are you calling your boss chocolate? How does sexual harassment work in the workplace? Is it only down or does it go up? Because if you're the employer, like Tyler Perry is, and the guy is a subordinate, okay, I can understand that. But what about when your employees are aiming up at you? Can you go to jail for that? Can you sue for that? Can I sue the employee for hollering at me or for hitting on me as their boss? Why are you trying to fraternize with your boss? We called you chocolate for short. What a time. LOL. So that means we called you chocolate for short behind your back. She doesn't have any direct connection with him. She doesn't have a direct personal rapport with him. And she never crossed the lines with him. She never even hinted to this. That's why she's coming out, because she's years later and she's now thinking, damn, I had a golden opportunity. I had missed dope chemistry. But apparently it sounds like, damn, I'm missing opportunity to get more evidence on this man so I can guarantee to sue him and get a bag. I was just thinking about those nights before everything. So nice. Great memories. 20 years ago. It was probably only 15 years ago, but she said 20. Time is wild. Anyways, please don't forget to find me 10 minutes this week. Prayer hands. P.S. I feel like you got Last Train to Paris vibes in the studio, and that's stellar. Love to see it. I've been lied on before. Shit, I had a woman call my fiance and tell her that one of her best friends was pregnant by a guy that drives a BMW 7 Series with curly hair, that's Spanish, named Rico. I'm at home sleep. My girlfriend comes home, literally wakes me up, punching me in the face. This woman told her I had clothes at this other girl's house. We've been together for months, yada, yada, yada. This is her hairdresser at the time. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but once you figure this out, we're done. We're done. I can call her right now on live right now and she'll tell you the story. So anyway, she goes to the shop. I go with her. She confronts her friend like, okay, give me the name of the girl. And I was like, yeah, give her the name. Let's go over to her house. All three of us, we're gonna go over to her house right now. We're gonna go pick up my clothes. We're gonna see where I've been staying, because if anybody knows anything about me, I don't sleep in nobody else's house. I never go to women's houses ever. So come on, let's go to her, because that's why I got a big ass expensive house. Let's go. Let's humor this. Let's go over there. Let's go together. Oh, actually, girl, it's another Rico. She said another Rico. How do you know it's another Rico? What do you mean another Rico too? If you knew it was another Rico yesterday, why did you tell me it was him? Anyway, my ex-girlfriend's crazy. She punched her hairdresser. They fought right there. It wasn't really a fight. My girlfriend just drug her. And I was not in a hurry to pull her off. I wasn't in a hurry to stop her. I let her. And I still broke up with her afterwards. And she spent years apologizing to me. She still apologizes to this day. She still calls me out the blue. You know, the worst part about being lied on and then you're in a situation where he just has to sit there and he can't defend himself is that these people are lying on you and they're not providing any evidence that any of these things ever happened. They never went to the police. They never went to a hospital and got a kit that had a sample of his DNA. There's no pictures, there's no police, there's no nothing. He doesn't live with these people, so they're not constantly under his watch where he can control everything they do, keep them in fear. We live in the real world. We live in the future. There's cell phones, there's video cameras everywhere. No one has to do anything they don't want to do. Everything we do is by choice. We're adults. And if men and women are equal, women have equal agency and autonomy over themselves and their own decisions. Now, if nothing a woman does is on her own volition, then how are they going to have a right to vote? Why can they drive? Why can they make decisions until it comes down to situations like this? Oh, now I'm just a girl? I thought you were a girl boss. You know, we cannot, either women are smart and strong or they're not. You can't have it both ways. They're smart and strong until it's time to get paid and just helpless and defenseless and blah. That's not going to work. It's not fair in a modern society, and we cannot allow that. This woman has clearly never had any physical contact with this man. He barely acknowledges her existence. And now that she doesn't work for him no more, she's just kind of like, she has nothing to lose, and she's just putting it all out there and telling him straight up, I had the biggest crush on you. That doesn't, you don't have the biggest crush on somebody who's been assaulting you and abusing you sexually for years. And years later, this is what you say to your guy. She obviously has never had any contact with this man. And he never looked at her like that, obviously. And she's like, I don't have nothing to lose. Let me just be thirsty and just, you know, take it. And this is her shooting her shot. And I'm glad that Diddy, I spent the last couple of years thinking this guy was a PDF file, homosexual, all types of, evil things. I'm thinking about him because that's what everyone's telling me. And I hear one story from people, the internet's reinforcing it. I don't actually look into it for myself because how could I? Now that this trial has started and women are being honest about everything, even when they're getting peed in their mouth and all these diseases and shit. So if he was gay, they throw that in there too. None of these women have ever claimed he was gay. If he was into little boys or little girls or young kids, the girls would know. None of these girls ever said that about him. The only time a girl said that was 50 Cent's baby mother when she caught him dealing with Young Miami. Oh, you're dealing with Young Miami. Oh, you're a pedophile. Miami's 20-something years old. She's just upset and wanted to get a rise out of him. And she couldn't because he's like, I'm only smashing you because you're my enemy's baby's mother. If you were just a regular chick out here with no kid by 50 Cent, I wouldn't care to talk to you, or I would have smacked it up and I would have got rid of it a long time ago. I'm only doing this to spite him every day. Every time I see Tommy and Ghost on Power, I'm throwing a freak off. Every episode. Every episode. For real, Tariq did what? Freak off. Okay? Wait. What's her name? Angela? What the attorney say? The attorney Ghost is cheating on Tasha? Yeah, freak off time. It seemed like every time something happened on Power, Diddy said we throwing a freak off just so he could balance out the force. This is hilarious, and to think that this man's being prosecuted for this and people are trying to find ways where this is a RICO. They'll go as far as saying, you know what? He forced her to have a crush on him. So he used the lover boy method. And even though he didn't have sex with her, he forced her to love him. And because she worked for him, that's an enterprise. And you know what? That proves a RICO. That's how fucking ridiculous and dumb these people are. Turn on TikTok. I can get on TikTok right now, and I was playing these videos, and I always play the videos of these mentally ill people. They're kind of like the people that showed up to the No King protest. They don't know why they're there. They're there for a bunch of different reasons. These people are jumping on these lives, and they're like, well, Diddy, I'm just glad these are not the people on the jury, but maybe a couple of them, maybe some of them are, because the people on the jury that seem to be grounded in logic, they're trying to kick off. The black people, the black guys. They want them gone. The black woman, they want her gone. Which is crazy that anybody would even suggest doing that, but they've done it because they don't have anything. They wouldn't need to do all these other sneaky things and try to cheat the system if they had a strong case, which they don't. But this is on my the single boyfriend on TikTok. Follow me on there, or follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Where I'm on all the platforms. The single boyfriend. I'm Club Rico. Go look at this for yourself. Leave a comment. We're gonna do another today on Friday. We're doing another $50 giveaway to one of the new subscribers to the YouTube channel. So if you can't subscribe to YouTube, and you're going to automatically just type in the word done on this video, and you're going to be entered into a raffle, and we're going to randomly pick a new follower, and we're going to send them a cash app for $50 tomorrow. So thank you for tuning in. Watch this video. Think for yourselves. Don't let the propaganda overwhelm you, and don't get overtaken by emotions. These are not victims. The only victim here is Diddy, which is crazy. I never thought I'd be saying that, but he's the only victim here. Look at this. This is a text message from a woman that's suing you from rape. Read the message. He is the victim. He's the only victim here. You know what? Domestic violence sucks, but people fight. People fight. And sometimes you win some, you lose some in a domestic violence relationship that's toxic. They got one video of when she lost one. We don't know how many she won. And we don't know how much she liked it. Some women like getting beat up. I just shared a video where a woman was like, yeah, I like getting beat up during sex. What do you think that means about her personal life too? It doesn't just stop there. People are the same across the board. So you got to keep in mind, some of these people demand a man that's going to kick their ass for them to even be turned on or feel like they're being loved properly, or even to feel like that he cares. I've had girlfriends like that too. I left them alone. I can't, man. I'm not trying to develop carpal tunnel, choking you, slapping. I can't even do that, all that rough sex shit. It's too much. And I got big hands. I'm a big dude. It's too much. Can't do it. Like and subscribe, share the video. I'll be back on. We got a couple of the topics going on today. You'll see the links right here at the bottom of the screen. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you shortly. Thank you.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.